Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different, and if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do if it doesn't resonate with you. If you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. Channel members, we have a collective message that posted yesterday, so definitely check that out. If you're interested in channel memberships, that link will be in the description box below. Magician's Tier, you will have a live with me on the 26th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing all of you there. And if you were interested in the subliminal meditations, overnight affirmations channel, that channel is going live today, and so at the time that I post this, there will already be a video up on that channel, so definitely navigate over there if that's your thing. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and let's get into this. Taking a step aside, and allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. I almost feel as I'm stepping into that space that I'm like sandwiched between two things. It's like I don't know if this is like a rock and a hard place energy for somebody, or if this is like a transition period for someone, that they're like in a space that is what was and then what will be. I'm not sure. So let's get into this. Let's get some cards out here. Okay. Passage. Okay. So I do think that it is something about a transition for some of you. We have passage, we have the gardener, and we have centeredness. These are the energies that are coming through inside this space. With centeredness, this is where we're trying to basically maybe not get pulled around emotionally. We may be trying to stay in our center. We may be trying to stay focused on something. I am being drawn to the amount of like kind of scary, shadowy creatures on the outside, right? When we don't know what something is, that's kind of the energy that this is giving me. There's something inside of our lives at this moment where we don't really know what it is. We know what it looks like, we know the basic outline of the thing, but we may not necessarily understand exactly what's happening. There are forests in this, which again speak to me about transition periods. This person is immersed inside the water, submerged inside the water, and so this is telling me that there's some emotional material that we may be sifting through at this time. There's almost this look of stars here. So we may be sifting through some emotions in order to stay centered inside of some kind of hope, right? There is a passage of time that's involved in this. This came out in yesterday's reading, so I do feel that for some of you who this reading resonates for, yesterday's reading may resonate for you, so I'll have that linked at the end of this video. There may be a passage of time that was involved in this, and then the gardener tending to some sort of garden after a passage of time. I do feel this passage of time also refers to the current moment, that this is some sort of transition inside of our lives. However, there's a situation in our life that has required some time. One of the cards that's coming out now, and I'm feeling this as a supporting energy, is this. It's the Muse. And the Muse is about inspiration. So there may be something very inspirational about the current moment, or there may be inspiration that's coming in. This inspiration actually is going to take a little bit of time to coalesce and to really integrate inside of us. We may have the first sparks of this inspiration in terms of something creative, or in terms of some new direction that we want to take, or some new endeavor, or a way to approach something. I'm going to say that also. Here with the gardener, one of the things that I'm seeing is that the bottom half of this gardener are roots. So we've been working on or focused on issues of stability, our finances, our home, how we're going to make it like survival sort of issues. Here with the green, there's a lot of heart growth that's been taking place. I almost see this as a keyhole behind this figure here, and so there's something that's unlocking inside the heart space at this time. You know, I've been getting this theme that's been coming out in the readings, that there's something both happening inside the heart space and with the body for someone, or the heart space or the 3D. So it's almost like two things are working in tandem, or they're connected, and as we work on one, the other one heals, or as we heal one, the other one heals. Do you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how this feels to me. Like there's the internal reality, and then the external reality is kind of following suit. Okay. Some of you may be leaving something behind as well. I do want to say that because departure is on the bottom. I do feel that if you are leaving something behind, this is actually an action that either you have help doing or it's being divinely guided in some way. All you have to do is step through. It's like there's a doorway open for you. There may even be situations that have been set up inside of your life to cause this departure to happen, but maybe because of our own personal programming, our own fears, our own anxieties, we aren't necessarily inclined to do so if it wasn't for the help of whatever this is. So, okay. We have universal spirit. For some of you, you may have a spirit guide, for example, that is helping you through this time of transition. And then we have growing pains. There may be a little bit of difficulty in the current situation for someone as they're going through this transition. It seems like it's required some fire or some testing or some trials and tribulations, right, in order to shake us loose from the natural direction that we would be heading in. And so because of this, there seems to be this phoenix sort of energy that's coming through in this reading, which is really things that are taking place inside of our life that on the outside look negative, but what's really happening is they're breaking us free so that we can come back to life. In other words, here we have transformation. It's all being highlighted by this. This is the process that's taking place inside of this transition for somebody. So if you are currently in a place where there's a lot going on inside your life, it's not all seeming necessarily good, but you are also kind of trying to stay centered in some sort of hope, just know that this is confirmation that there is something that's at play, that's at work, that's trying to shake you loose from your natural habits or your natural patterns in order to allow you to step into a broader space and a bigger space where you take yourself out of a box in order to have a life that's more aligned to you, more aligned to who you really are. Okay. Someone is going back and forth or around and around with questions in this situation. Again, here we have heart showing up underneath the gardener that was speaking about the heart. I do feel that this is what we're trying to center ourselves from, is this round and round that we're going through. And this is because we may be juggling different aspects of this, right? Well, if I do this, then how's this going to work? If I do this, then how's this going to work? And then what happens over here? There just seems to be a lot of questions here. And what we are needing to do is trust, right? And that's something that people don't want to hear, that because that requires a lot of blind faith in some ways, right? Especially if you haven't quite gotten your mind around taking control of your own energy and your own mental spaces in order to create something. But that seems to be the direction that someone is heading in. Someone here, you may be already noticing it, that your mindset is starting to change. Your mindset in terms of who you are and what you're capable of doing is starting to change, and it will change more, because even though it may seem that you're departing from something in the 3D, like you're leaving something behind in the 3D, what's really happening is a profound transformation, because an old version of ourself is dying. We have Thanatos showing up here. This represents the energy for me right now in this context. It represents the energy that keeps us trapped, right? There's this web, and usually I read this web as a very positive thing. It's the web of life and death, but in this context, what I'm reading it as a web that prevented us from passing through. Again, going back to where's that card? Oh, I must not have taken it out. What, really? Here, hold on. Well, I don't know where it went. Where did it go? I'm so confused. Where did that card go? Yeah, I have no idea. Okay, it's not meant to be. But just like we saw that gateway with that other being on the top, we haven't necessarily passed through because we've had our own things preventing us, and oftentimes these things are things that are inside of our heart space that keep us stuck, right? This is something someone has tended to in their healing, and what's happening now is we're being granted passage because of our own hard work, or possibly even the passage of time, right, has healed somebody, and this is allowing us to step back and roll this away as this ends, and whatever this represents, it's like an old version of ourselves that's being evidenced by something in the 3D that is bringing us into this energy, the seed. The seed is the potential, and I feel very much that this is someone's true potential. This feels like something that we've been struggling with for a very long time, you know, so maybe there's been things that you've tried and the door has always closed, or it's always ended, or it's never actually gotten where you wanted it to go, and that's because there were habits or patterns or ways that we expressed this energy that were still being hemmed in by limitation or by negative thinking or our disbelief in ourselves. What's happened here is that something is ending, and we're tending to this garden during this transition period. It's bringing us back to life, but this new version of ourself doesn't have this web in the way. And so this seed now is able to almost like integrate in a very intimate way within our soul space. This is where the moon and the sun meet, right? The masculine and feminine forces inside of ourselves meet and come into union. So there is the will and the passion that are both coalescing finally to create something new. And this is kind of, again, this is very in alignment with yesterday's reading. At the end of the reading we had the androgen, which is about the masculine and feminine forces coming together to create a new thing, and especially a creative thing. So for some of you, creativity is definitely involved in here. Okay, let's see. This is something that may be happening rather quickly here with the Knight of Swords. I want to say a few things about that. We have the Ace of Swords, so new inspiration. Again, it's falling right on the muse, so we have all this inspiration. And then we're coming out with the Queen of Cups here. Okay, and on the bottom is the Page of Emotions. Okay, so I love this. So what we have here is we have these fast-moving ideas, fast-moving inspiration. There could even be a quick departure from something. We could be cutting ourselves away from something very quickly. Here we have the Ace of Voices. This is a new inspiratory phase, right? So communication may be involved. So for example, something online, something in written word, something in terms of digitally. There's something and I see this light is actually hitting the back of her head. So this is like divine inspiration, and it's hitting this area of her hair where it's pink. Again, going back to this heart space. So it's something that's actually inspiring us because of the opening of the heart. And this is a divine inspiration of some kind. Again, going back to that card that I put away that I can't find, there is that being that seemed to be guiding something. And I said many of you will have a spirit guide, especially once the universal spirit popped out. This is something that seems very important to our path, whatever this is, obviously, since the seed is what's showing up as the driving force behind this. That this is our code, right? This is like our source code as people. It's what our particular soul signature embodies in this life. And we spend our whole lives learning a few great lessons, and really it's really just one great lesson that's intertwined, right? And that's the lesson of love. And some people learn it, some people don't. And this great lesson oftentimes encapsulates this code that we have inside of ourselves, because the highest version of ourself and the highest love that we can give to ourselves is to allow ourselves to express who and what we truly are without hemming it down with fear, without putting it down with like labels and shackling it to these negative beliefs that we've adopted along the way. So someone here, you're cutting free of those things, especially since this sword is sitting on top of this Thanatos card with the webs. We're cutting through those webs. This may be a slow process for some of you, but as your heart space unfolds, this becomes easier and it becomes faster. With the Queen of Emotions, this is the Queen of Cups, this is the Queen of Love. And so again, we have heavy heart themes showing up. We even have the Page of Emotions showing up with this heart space that's radiating here. And I do want to say something about this. Again, as her heart space opens, we have this pink, just like we had inside of her hair, that seems to be radiating. So there's this divine inspiration, right? This is that 7th chakra point. And here what we have with the Page of Emotions is we have this heart space that's radiating, and it's almost as though that solar plexus can relax now, right? It's where the feminine energy leads and the masculine energy can kind of take a back seat. We don't have to exert our willpower. We don't have to exert our independence, our individuality, our sovereignty quite as much, because that's already in place. It's already in place. We already know who we are, right? And what we're allowing to happen here is we're allowing our heart space to attract beautiful things to us. She's got all those fish that are attracting into her heart space, and this is because we are again integrating that masculine feminine aspect inside of ourselves here with the Lovers. This could even be literal for some of you, and this is bringing us into this, the Queen of Inspiration herself, the Queen of Wands. So what seems to be happening here is someone is actually, it almost feels like this is not the type of alignment that somebody is working towards. It's the type of alignment that's happening because our heart space is being divinely opened. And there are riddles and other situations that seem to be taking place surrounding this, but those things are all interwoven, right? This thing over here is actually connected to this thing over here, even if it doesn't seem so in the 3D. It's energetically connected, and that's connected to this other thing that's taking place as well. Even though it doesn't seem so, they're energetically connected. And all these things had to happen in such a particular way for an answer to be resolved, or an answer to be received. That's the point of this riddle. No matter which way you look at it, it's like there's moving parts and there's shifting pieces, but it's all intertwined. And someone here may be starting to see that. If this wasn't happening, this over here wouldn't happen. If that didn't happen, this over here wouldn't happen. This all had to happen this way, even though some of it was seemingly negative. It's all actually working out for my benefit because it's bringing this out. It's bringing out who I actually am. With the seed, we have this pure potential, this idea of pure potential. The seed has the code. It has all the amino acids and all the proteins that are required to create whatever it is it's going to be, whether it's a small shrub or a massive tree. And someone here, you may not know what your seed encapsulates. You may have thought that you knew, and you might be about to have a little bit of a surprise when it becomes something much bigger or much more colorful than you thought that it was going to be. Okay, let's get one from this deck, and I will read from the book for this deck. Nope. Okay. Okay, we have glass. Where am I here? Oh, here we are. I try to turn one page and then it's like 10 turn. Oh my god, here we go. Okay. Transparency, focus, and seeing. Okay, I'm going to show you this. Notice that there's that transitionary forest again, and then we have this circle, and it's just in that small little focus point that we can actually see all the colors, right? Glass transmits a sacred exchange between the alchemist and their work. Through the glass vessel, the alchemist sees their work, and the work sees the alchemist. What was once clouded in confusion becomes focused. What was once veiled becomes obvious. How are you currently seeing the world? What is your perspective? The glass card can be thought of as the gift of true perception. With it, you naturally focus on what is most central in your life. All else falls into the periphery. Again, you know, coming back to that energy of what's the most important thing for each one of us as an individual soul here. Okay. Glass is fragile by nature and requires regular cleaning, so find daily practices that align your vision to what is true. It's easy to slip into an old mode of seeing, particularly someone else's, so hold steady to your new alchemical lenses. Their power is mighty. To ponder, the sand becoming glass. Okay. Glass is a separator. It puts a clear barrier between the observer and the observed. Ponder on this distance making and whether it is serving or hindering. And some speak of rose-colored glasses that shift our perspective. Take inventory of what lens you are looking through. Is the glass muddy, colored, cracked, or crystal clear? So again, going back to this idea of someone's perception is slowly and slowly changing, where they're unraveling and allowing themselves to get out of that web of negative thinking, of negative viewpoints, of limiting beliefs, in order for them to see themselves truly and to get to the heart of what it is that they're actually passionate about. This is someone's focus, right? This is someone's focus. And I think this is amazing. I'm going to leave this here. And if this resonates with you, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment. Comments are open now that the next channel is launched. So yeah, until next time.